Boy, oh boy, do we have a story for you all today. And ironically, this isn't the first time it's happened in the RLCS. If you guys don't know what I'm alluding to, a team by the name of Young Money Clan has been banned for the next year of competing in the RLCS. But before we get into the specifics of that, we've got to take a step back. If you guys aren't familiar with what's going on, during this offseason, there has been some changes to the RLCS that state region locks happen based upon where you perform and where you sign up, not where you live. And because of that, if you guys haven't seen, the signups for a specific region, SSA, which is considered one of the weakest regions, a lot of these flags are not from SSA. Some people feel that because they can't hack it in their main region, they got to go to a lesser region to steal the major spot, which is only one available. Now, this provided some hilarity throughout the season as a team by the name of Young Money Clan, which is Riho, Motion, and Nugget, ended up signing up and trying to have a go at it. Now, for those that don't know, Limitless is kind of the top dogs of the region. Limitless has been at the top for a while. They've been to multiple lands and are actually a pretty dang solid team as they show improvement here and here out. And the cool thing about this season in particular is that Limitless in particular has the capability to basically say, hey, we're not going to see you guys only once a year at the World Championship. We actually get to compete in majors now. We get to see you guys every few months rather than once a year. We get to get experience. We get to grow and improve and be exposed to the best rosters in the world. And unfortunately, a select few feels like that is no longer the case. They're going to just come in because they're from the better region and they're going to take that top dog spot. Limitless, if you guys don't know, 2 Die For, Snowy, and Sweaty. They've been honestly sweaty and doing a pretty good job. So first regional rolls around, Limitless goes through, everything's clean, and eventually we get down to the grand final where, lo and behold, Limitless back up what they're talking about and dominate against Young Money Clan in a 4-0 sweep. So initially, Young Money Clan goes, hey, the idea of us being from EU, we're going to play in SSA, we're going to get ourselves a free major spot, immediately comes to a halt, and they're like, oh, either way, they're second place. They're still in the running. They still have a chance. Okay, how does Regional 2 go? How do we do in the second qualifier? Well, this time, they win one additional game. They win one additional game, but you know what? They're dealing with ping. You know, playing from home, playing from EU, it's a lot to deal with. That ping, the ball's warping around unless we're the ones controlling possession. Because of this, you now have a team that has gone to back-to-back grand finals. But the only way they can catch up, because very likely Limitless is going to find themselves in the grand finals again, there's only one spot available. So you have to knock out your competition earlier in the tournament in order to prevent them from gaining more points than you, and you still have the ability to get enough points to go to the finals, win that, and now you have the point difference to make up for it. The problem is with Swiss, the way that the format works out, if you guys are unfamiliar, is 1-0 teams play 1-0 teams, 2-0 teams play 2-0 teams, all the way up until you become either 3-0 and you progress through as a top seed, or 0-3 you can get eliminated. As for Young Money Clan, one of the complications with the format of Swiss is when there's only one spot available, it does allow you to manipulate the format a little bit if you can throw matches or basically lose on purpose to snipe the plays. They decided that they wanted to end up booking travel, going local to a place called Reunion Island so they had less ping, and give themselves an opportunity to play with the best efforts they could. And what they needed to do is they needed to snipe Limitless in the first round of the quarterfinals. So the top 8 match, knock them out there, and then go on to win the entire event, which would allow them to leapfrog in points and move forward. And that's what happened. Limitless, ironically enough, had a worse game differential in Swiss. Therefore, they were the second seed, which means Young Money Clan had to not only perfectly find a way to win 3 out of 5 matches, which means they needed to lose 2 matches to put themselves in a bottom seed. They also had to do the game differential perfectly to make sure that they lined up just right. And that's exactly what they did. They ended up going 2-0 convincingly, despite them claiming that they have computer issues and there is graphical issues. GPUs were updated drivers and whatever type of excuses they wanted to make. And eventually what ends up happening is they do lose those 2 matches. And then out of nowhere, they sweep the last match as if nothing was ever amok. So their first round works out perfectly. They do manage to get limitless, which means their plan has been successful. This is then brought to the attention of Psyonix through some clips, and I'm going to be quiet for this one, but you guys make your assessments on these two clips on if they're throwing or not. Trying to give you a biased opinion about my thoughts on it, but Psyonix decided to issue a ban. They said after a thorough investigation of game delays, match footage, and analysis and everything else, they've been banned essentially for a year. So a year from that day, not only are they removing all their points and everything else, but they have a ban that will go extending for the next year. It says they violated the terms, and this is terms that have been in the player code of conduct for a long time, basically stating you have to play within the spirit of Rocket League. You have to give it your best at all times. And if you don't, it may result in display reaction, which this has happened in the past. There was a time where I think it was Team Esper in OCE purposely threw their matches as well to make it so that the team that was playing against them could qualify for an event and knock out CJ and their team, Renegades, from qualifying as well. Now, with that, there has been some memes and there has been some things in regards to the way that things are going on. Make those with what you will. But the biggest thing is saying you said you had a bad day of gameplay. That was the issue. You also do replay analysis on how you play, and this is what your opinion is on how you're playing.
Bad rotation. Me wall dashing. Okay, this is me. Okay. What? Like, what? What is wrong? Could someone actually, like, please tell me what is wrong?
Now, I'm going to say this, and this might be a little bit mean, but maybe you guys aren't playing well in Europe if you don't understand what's wrong with that. Eventually, their coach or manager who signed it, and there's a couple other things that have come with this as well. They only got a coach for Saturday and Sunday, but not Friday. Back-to-back grand finals results to then all of a sudden just so happen to have that happen. And there has been excuses. There has been a lot of things. The coach came out and said, I didn't comment on it until now. I'm not even asked by Epic staff. I was with the team and behind them in person the entire time, and they seriously did not know what position they were in, who they had to play in the quarterfinals. Until the end of the day, we didn't snipe Limitless. They haven't done an investigation. They did this to keep the community happy because we happened to play Limitless. Nugget was on a laptop he'd never played on, and it was 3 to 4 years old. Riho was playing with a graphics card that kept dying in between series, and the team being in a car accident days earlier did not help. The team did not throw. I just don't understand how this can be done because of these tweets. The delays were legitimate. I was telling the truth. Please rethink this. You pull up that tweet now, it doesn't exist. One of the players also said that they did update the driver settings, and that wasn't the issue. All I'm saying, chat, and to everybody watching, there is going to be a lot of people that go after these people. The decision has been made, and I'm not trying to make it worse. I am trying to educate you guys on the process that it is better to just play to the best of your efforts and not take a cheap route in life. While yes, SSA is a lesser or a minor region based upon the quality of competition due to signups and opportunities that they have been received, there is still quality talent, and I selfishly am going to be rooting so hard for Limitless, the World Championship as well as the Majors, justifiably so. Those guys put in hard work and determination and do everything they can to improve, and they're being rewarded for it. And case in point, even with them trying to snipe this, there's no guarantee that the guys were going to win anyway, because I personally believe that Limitless is the better team. I guess what I'm trying to get at is it is frustrating to see that people keep trying to take shortcuts with this stuff and take away situations. And it also goes back to the original thing that anybody can sign up for any region is kind of a problem, in my opinion. I don't think it should have been a thing that they allowed. I hope it gets changed for the next year and the next season. But why they are allowing people outside of residency, like if you go and live there and move there, by all means. But you want to keep talent within the region that is competing there so it grows and develops and gets stronger. I understand that we're always going to see international competition, the top stars, all the way back to Drippe migrating to give himself an opportunity to compete against the best in the world. That'll always be a thing that happens in every other esport. But to purposely create situations like this and then having a format that also enables it or makes it possible is where I can... If I'm a competitor, I want to do anything in my power to make sure I win. But I also counter that and go, well, you should have won those grand final results then. You should have won in the grand finals. You had 2 chances to do it. You lost both convincingly. Whether you want to be playing or anything else, you knew what you were signing up for. It's just disappointing to see stuff like this. And it continues to happen. We'll see what ends up happening. My assumption is that you will very likely not see those names again because they've burned every bridge, and then it just ruins the career that they hopefully would get someday if they just put down the hard work, determination, and grinded. Crazy stuff, chat.